look, right next to Glenn Richards.
You love get me off the grid, mate.
You love the sun, don't you?
I do like the sun, it has to be said. And talking of which, good segue there. It's 33 degrees track temperature, similar as it was on Friday. We just checked with the Michelin men and the Dunlop men. And so we could see a lot of tyre degradation by the end of the race. Let's have a quick word with Glenn Richards. Glenn, we haven't spoken to you all weekend, but, well, I'm not used to seeing you back down here.
Yeah, it's not very nice, is it?
What's happened so far? I mean, obviously qualifying didn't go as well as you'd liked.
Yeah, just had a bit of bad luck in qualifying, just on both my qualifying tyres. But yeah, just a little bit sore from 2 weeks ago. The old coccyx not quite there yet. It's a bit tender, but no, just that first race we had a bit more bad luck. The tyre spun on the rim, so you know, we just need things to go our way, and we should be able to get a good result.
Have you made any changes for race 2?
No, I'm on the same bike, so and all's good. I've just hopefully got a tyre that won't spin on the rim this time.
Fair enough. All right, well, you don't want that, do you? Right, let's move along. And obviously we've already spoken to James Hayden at the beginning of the day, and alongside him and next to him, which is always good to see, the rider he's actually filling in for. Let's start with Stuart here. First of all, how's your arm?
Yeah, it's getting better. It's healing very fast, so I should be back next week at Oulton Park, hopefully, and hopefully just start where I left off.
Not an easy time for you, but you're out here supporting the man.
Yeah, that's right. Cheering James on. Hopefully he'll have another good race in this race, and hope for the best.
All right, let's talk to James Hayden. James didn't get the best of starts, let's face it.
Yeah, no, I got mugged in the first couple of corners, definitely out of practice, and once you lost toe of the group, you can forget it. We were doing pretty similar times, but just that bit back.
You made any changes for race 2?
Just a little mental change, hopefully I can click into practice.
I mean, that's literally what it's about. It's about moving that mind forward to the kind of race piece. I mean, you know, you've been up there with them last year.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, there's no one here I'm sort of scared of. It's just a matter of getting yourself back into it, and you know, I just want to try and do it bit by bit.
Mental spanners working then for James Hayden. Best of luck to him. Let's move across here. We spoke to Tommy. You're right, Tommy. You're right for this one.
Spot on, yeah, perfect.
Well, we don't need to say more than that. That's perfect. There you go. Let's have a word with this man now. We talked to Glenn Richards a moment ago. Craig Coxhill was involved in that accident at the end of race 1. Are you okay, first of all?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, a bit disappointed that happened, but unfortunately that's racing, and hopefully this race we can go out and turn it around.
Yep, and obviously the Tenkata boys are looking for a good result after what's happened today. It's been an up and down day for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're trying the best. It was a good job. The boys got the bike going, so hopefully I can go out and do the job for them.
This is only your 3rd race. How are you enjoying the championship so far?
Yeah, I'm having a ball. I'm learning a lot of new things. I mean, we're just developing this bike and myself to learn the track, so hopefully we can go out there and show these guys what I can actually do later on.
All right, well, best of luck to you. And Sally here is trying to ignore me. You're not going to get away from ignoring me. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. She doesn't like to say much. Okay, let's move on forward a little bit, and let's see if we can have a quick word with Yukio. Yukio, just as you're getting your helmet on, can we just ask you... Oh, he's just getting his... There he goes. He can hear us. Obviously a great race 1. Have you made any changes for race 2?
Yeah, I'm only trying my best, but hopefully win.
Yeah, but have you actually changed the bike in any way?
No, everything the same.
Absolutely the same. And, well, best of luck to you, all you can say. And you can say a big thumbs up from the Japanese man there. And I don't think there are a lot of changes. I thought maybe the weather would make a difference, but it doesn't seem to have done. But I'll tell you what, we're in for a cracker, I hope, anyway. Let's go back to you.
And fast. He's got a great motorcycle underneath him. It's just a question of whether that slightly finicky clutch, only finicky to use in a start. He gets a good start. Oh, you saw it there pick up, but that's a great start from Michael Rutter. It picked up, but it was okay, I think. The Sendo Ducati's come through, but it's John Reynolds who's going to cut across. Or is it number 4? Drops in there. That was Steve Plater. Well, Steve Plater, the brave. He is a barbarian. I've never known anybody like it. Give him more pain. Look at Scott Smart. Scott Smart up the inside into 3rd place. Has he managed to displace the Ducati? Sean Emmett, he has. Scott Smart goes 3rd, and I think now that he's made that start, we are going to see some fireworks from Scott Smart. The Kawasaki looks quick down the back straight. It's still Reynolds at lead, but is it going to be the Kawasaki that's 2nd? Yes, it is. Superb from Scott Smart. Over the cement dust, they all fly for the first time into the S's. Scott Smart, superb. I can't think of words that will describe this. In 2nd place on the opening lap on the Hawk Kawasaki. What a dream year Scott Smart is having, still only 27 years old. Really, they've had a diabolical series of events leading up to this season. When you think about it, what with Uncle Barry Sheen, of course, dying of cancer back in March. That really brought the family down a little bit, and Scott, of course, and his sister Paula, you know, their uncle was such a meaningful man in their relationship with the family. And now Scott Smart, having recovered from, well, a couple of years where people sort of they didn't really get along with Scott, you know, they called him arrogant, called him a little bit too cocky, but he's always been able to ride a motorcycle, and to see him back doing this, Neil, superb.
Steve Plater in third, closely followed by Sean Emmett. These two guys at the front, they've got a job. Michael Rutter got off the line good, but he went backwards, crossed the line there in 7th in that first lap. So although he got off the line good, he got mugged into turn 1.
Well, maybe their problems are more than we know about. Steve Plater in 3rd place at the moment, crossing the cement dust on bike number 4, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha, and that's a great start for him. I tell you what, wouldn't that be a shot in the arm for Rob Mack, team manager, team owner, in fact, if Plater managed to get a podium out of this here at Snetterton on a quick track like this. Sean Emmett's still 3rd.
One thing that cement dust has done is it's separated them a lot. They're all a bit nervous, especially the ones in the bunch going in there in that first lap. It strung them a bit more than would normally happen. But look at Scott Smart, and look how fast his Kawasaki is when he comes onto the start-finish straight, because that Suzuki is one fast motorcycle. The Kawasaki's not far away.
He manages to stop and turn that Kawasaki superbly. Just gets left a little bit in the dust there by the GSXR Suzuki at this stage in the season. But Scott Smart, as Brands had to remember, down in the Graham Hill bend, there was nobody, and I mean nobody, that was in the same territory as Scott Smart when it came to braking and turning.
Don't you think he looks like Steve Islop on that bike? He's got such a rightness that looks just like Steve Islop.
I remember the days of him and Jay Vincent fighting away in the 250 British Championship. Scott Smart is a good little rider, and the fact he's made a comeback here on Superbike's big time, and he's really grasped it with both hands this year. Put in a low, oh, we got a yellow flag, that means we got a faller at the S's.
No passing there.
No passing at all, so maybe we've got somebody else that's down on the track.
Sean Emmett up to 3rd.
Where is Plater? He's back to 4th. We can see him. He made a bit of a mistake somewhere, that's for sure, because he's dropped back a long way, Steve Plater.
Smart's leading.
Smart's leading. He must have done that at the S's or coming down towards
I
the
reckon
S's.
Reynolds made a mistake.
Well, you might be right, but we're only going to guess at it because I didn't see it, did you? So through goes Scott Smart. We're at Russell's now. Wow, Snetterton is a turning point, really. We have seen some fantastic racing over the first 2 rounds, but really Snetterton is where people are just, well, defying the form book. Scott Smart on the Hawk Kawasaki, number 88, out front, through Richie's corner, on towards Sears now. Looks past that ZX10, still had the key in it at the, sit up there, Scotty, so he got a bit of a back wheel spin as it dropped off the edge of the tarmac onto the rough old concrete, lost momentum down the straight. That has given John Reynolds an opportunity and Sean Emmett an opportunity to go by as they come. Well, not quite.
Bit of discretion there, Scott Smart. He was thinking about getting down the inside of Sean Emmett, but made the smart move there. Unfortunately, he's got Kageyama right behind him.
Yeah, and that Suzuki is extremely rapid. So Scott Smart, one little mistake he's paid for in spades, hasn't he, really? Dropping back to 3rd place. Didn't deserve that. So it's the usual protagonist out front. It is John Reynolds looking for his first double of the year on the Rizla Suzuki, if he can get it. Sean Emmett just looking for a great result if he can get it, because otherwise these boys out front in the championship are just going to be running away from him. There is Yukio Kageyama trying to keep the front of that thing down in front of Steve Plater on bike number 4. They are chasing Scott Smart on 88 up the hill, and that's some 166 miles an hour from the
big flames coming out of Plater's bike. That's just unburnt fuel, but something you don't normally see in the Yamaha.
Yeah, but it's a bit Foggy Patronus, isn't it, really? Foggy Patronus Racing. Those of you that have barbecues at World Superbikes. Straight down the Revit straight. We now come. It is Plater that's back. The bike looks for the Yamaha, certainly looks fast enough in a straight line, doesn't it? As Yukio once again makes a hand signal, flicks the indicator on, looks over his shoulder and makes a pass on Scott Smart. Yukio's motorcycle is by far and away the fastest one on this racetrack.
It's certainly working well, and Yukio's riding it hard. The Honda's now at the moment. Rutter now up to 6th position. Kianari down in 10th.
Saw the way the front end of that Kawasaki, Scott Smart making it work as it pattered its way into the bomb hole. Really difficult to control a motorcycle that's got any kind of patter, especially at the front end. But Scott, he's so confident on the front of that Kawasaki. Whoa, I rest my case.
Don't go out wide there. Kageyama a little bit offline there going into the Russell chicane. Scott Smart making the most of it.
But of course, when you come out onto this uphill straight along the front here, the centre straight, Scott Smart's Kawasaki, he's going to have to exit that turn very quick onto that straight if he's going to catch Yuki, or even stay in his slipstream up that front straight. So we're at Sears now.
And that's where he had the moment.
on to Sears. Let's have another look at it. Scott Smart a little bit more cautious coming on there. Then he lost a little bit of time in the middle of the turn as he asked the Kawasaki for full power. Still John Reynolds out front on bike number 2. Number 5 is the Monster Mob Ducati of Sean Emmett, and then it's 71. That is Yukio Kagayama. On the other is the Suzuki. Teammate, of course, to Reynolds. Then the Hawk Kawasaki of Scott Smart, followed by the Virgin Mobile Yamaha of Steve Plater. That's bike number 4. We're in and out of the bomb hole. It drops down. Our camera flattens it out, but it is really quite a hole. And a very difficult right-hander indeed. That runs onto this long flowing Coram curve. Little short straight almost into the braking area, back to bottom gear. 50 mile an hour through the Russell chicane. Scott Smart moving himself up over that bike. Tell me he's having a bit of a problem keeping his weight over the front of the motorcycle. They may be trying to alter those footrests, moving them back a little bit further just to give him a little bit more leverage over the front of the bike and keep the front down. Good indication it's chucking out a load of power.
It's got good power. It's the smallest of the 4 cylinders as well, and it's smaller than the Ducati. There's a long swinging arm.
106.247 on lap 6 was Michael Rutter's fastest lap. Michael Rutter is still in 6th place behind Steve Plater. We can see the top 6 in vision there, and there is Michael Rutter on bike number 3, the HM Plant Honda. He don't have to give himself a lot to do after one lap, and you really can't see him win a race as long as he's going to give everybody such a head start after the opening lap. And although he looked like he got the start, it just when he let the clutch out proper, I think our camera follows it while he gets the initial break, and then I think it just bogs down almost out of shot as we follow the leaders, and as we go on that head-on shot, and we can't see the thing because they've really got to slip them for such a long while, almost up to sort of 70-80 miles an hour.
It was much better initially. You saw it got off the line good, but then it came up from a fraction of a second where the other guys pushed hard into the first turn. They didn't lose any time, and then of course Michael Rutter lost a few tenths. That meant about half a dozen positions.
John Reynolds, 38 years old, and you've got to say, even at 38, he has more determination to win at this level of motorcycle racing than many men could carry into that kind of area for sure. John Reynolds always wants to win. Let's hope he doesn't come across any backmarkers.
In the form of
I've been told off for having a bit of a go. Not a go, I have to say, at Paul
Here
Jones.
Here comes Kagayama. He hits that nitrous oxide button on the Rizzler Suzuki along the back straight there on his right on the back of Sean Emmett.
You are joking, of course, aren't you?
Of course.
I've got to say that Yukio's bike, I don't know why it's quite as quick as it is, and I'm sure John Reynolds will want to know why it's that quick, because it is, as I've said already, by far and away the quickest motorcycle on the racetrack, let alone out of the 2 Rizzler Suzukis. Still, there are no team orders. It would be apparent that Yukio Kagayama and John Reynolds start this season.
Oh, someone went wide there. Maybe Scott Smart a little bit
there
wide
was.
there. Yeah?
Scott Smart, good. Well, it blends in, I suppose. Russell chicane, that is a bit of a disaster for him. And through goes his teammate, Glenn Richards, who was much further down the order. Glenn Richards in 7th place now. He was in 8th place, but his teammate has slipped behind him. We're at Sears. That is Paul Bird on the right of your picture. Must be scratching his head as far as what is Sean Emmett going to be able to do here with that Suzuki out front. They surely want a race win. They cannot allow John Reynolds to keep grabbing 25 points at a time. And with Yukio closing in on him every lap. When was the last time Rizzler Suzuki had a double-double?
A double-double. Well, they certainly didn't have one last year. Mandela was the closest they came.
I don't remember.
Well, Rizzler Suzuki haven't had the double-double.
No, Suzuki, I'm in Paul Denning's.
But they haven't had the double-double either. Chris Walker was the last guy that did a lot of winning on the Suzuki.
Well, there you go. I've scratched my head, battered it over to Neil McKenzie, and
Sean Emmett's having a much better ride here, though. Much more like the Monster Mob team are used to.
But you've got to say that Yukio, with the power of that motorcycle, is right in his slipstream, and Kagayama, he was a bit slack getting out there, but then again, I would be the launch that he had the other day out of Russell chicane.
Michael Rutter's on his way there. He's up to 4th position, another fastest lap. Sorry, lap 7, yeah.
Lap
6.197.
Still Reynolds that leads though. Emmett still second. Yukio Kagayama, what's happened? He's gone off a little bit there.
He's lost some time.
Yeah, he has. Maybe went a little wide at Rich's.
Yeah.
So Yukio Kagayama got to do it all again. As Michael Rutter comes out of the heat haze on the Revit straight here in 4th place on bike number 3. Then it's Plater on 5th place on bike number 4. So Plater dropping off the order a little bit on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. That is the Monster Mob Ducati of Sean Emmett. His pit bull will tell him. Well, it would have told him plus virtually 0 for the last lap, but Yukio a little bit further behind this time, courtesy of that mistake at Richie's corner through Coram. Just making it sit down a bit, JR, there as he asked for full power. Did you tell me they changed the mapping slightly on that bike to give it a bit more full power?
Top end mapping. Yeah, they could obviously see in the monitors that Yuki's bike was faster than JR's. Had a quick look after they downloaded all the engine information, engine management information, and the fueling wasn't quite right at the top end on the back straight there. So they reckon they'd found something. They could make some adjustments and give it a bit more horsepower just where it needed it.
Well, an equal distance there was between Reynolds and second place man Sean Emmett and third place man Yukio Kakayama, but joining the fray every single lap he gains a few yards is Michael Rutter. Michael Rutter on the HM plant Fireblade Honda is closing in. But look at Yukio again on that GSXR Rizla Suzuki, closing right up on power on the Ducati. That will have the Monster Bob boys a little concerned, especially when we get to Thruxton a few rounds in the future. Rutter, fastest lap, 106.119. Mackenzie mentioned that earlier on, and that's a fraction quicker, isn't it, than lap 7? Yeah, he's gone even faster.
Well, Simon Buckmaster, team manager there, said that the increase in track temperature could well play into the hands of the Michelin runners, which of course Michael Rutter and Ryuichi Kiinari and Kageyama made a mistake. Looked like he was in the wrong gear on the exit of the chicane.
Yeah, so Yukio Kageyama, well, maybe those beatings he's had are now having taken their toll. He must be tired, he must be feeling it. I mean, his mobility must be restricted, surely. You know, any normal mortal wouldn't even be out there. We're at Rich's.
At some point it does kick in, but half race distance now, Michael Rutter up to third position. He's got a clear track in front of him. His bike should have a bit of a top end advantage, a bit of a top speed advantage on number 5, Sean Emmett, so shouldn't be too long before it reels him in.
Be interesting to have seen just how the Michelin tyres coped with that first race at the moment, because really that is the only questionable thing about this Honda once it gets going. Will Michelin, who don't have any data for any of these British Championship tracks, will they have managed to glean enough information and give him the tyre that's going to do the 24 laps?
I'm pretty sure they will, because I always look at the lap by lap analysis through practice, and Michael Rutter is always out there trying to do race distance. Quite often he's the guy that does the most laps out there, and you know he's out there doing the job for Michelin, seeing what happened with tyre endurance.
Well, I've got to just remind you again, Neil, because at the end of this race we are going to be very tight for time. We are obviously extending our airtime to keep this Think British Superbike Championship on air on Sky Sports Live. So I'm going to press you to make some notes of your rider of the day, because we're going to want to know who your rider of the day is in just a few moments' time. So you can give us a short list if you like, just who's in your mind.
Top 4 guys in this race, and top 4 guys in every other race, I suppose, as well. But
you better think about it.
There's a few prime candidates.
Well, we're going to need to hear that very soon, of course. We are on lap 13 of 24. This is a one-lap shortened race for our final Superbike race of the day. Yukio Kageyama has still got some work to do if he's going to get back on terms with Michael Rutter, but really I feel like he is making a little bit of a mistake here and there, and that's going to be a struggle for him now. It's all about Sean Emmett. Can he hold Michael Rutter at bay? Really, Emmett, it doesn't need mentioning, but I will anyway. He could do with John Reynolds behind him as far as the championship's concerned as well. But 20 points will be better than where he finished in race 1 today. I'm talking about Sean Emmett. Rutter, slowly but surely. That's where that motorcycle, to me, is so good in those tight flip-flops. We saw it at Silverstone. Bottom gear, it just carburetes, or fuels, I should say, is more descriptive of how the bikes work nowadays. It just feels so well from nowhere, just grunts all the way up that hill, past our commentary position here, into turn 1. And look at that, he's closed down Emmett all the way up that hill.
Taking nothing away from Michael Rutter, though, because he is a class act, very smooth rider. He complements that bike perfectly, and through these sort of corners, I've been watching that chicane during practice, he just carries the momentum, closes the throttle but gets right back on it. The bike works well, but he carries the speed through there, and he's inch perfect every single lap, just doing a good job, the perfect combination.
Still, John Reynolds, though, it is that leads this motorcycle race here at Snetterton. The second of our Think British Superbike Championship races today. This is round 3, and John Reynolds is going to extend his lead in the championship if all systems stay the same as they are. But we've got just under 10 laps to go. Well, Paul Jones, now quite often Paul Jones is the man that John Reynolds comes across and always catches him in quite the wrong place. But this time he won't do, because Paul Jones is at trackside. We don't know what the reason is for Paul Jones not continuing his race. He races, of course, in the Superbike Cup, which is the privateers race within this main British Championship Superbike race. We have I hear in my headphones that he's rejoined the track. Maybe he knew JR was coming. Wasn't going to get involved in any of that again.
Well, I reckon JR knows that Michael Rutter's coming because he's just done the fastest lap of the race of 1:06.204. He did fast laps at the end of race 1 and he's pulled the pin now and he's digging deep. He knows that Michael Rutter's coming and he's responding accordingly.
Rutter comes up the inside there of the Ducati, and really you can see Sean Emmett got sucked in behind that Honda as it went past. The movement of the air to Emmett's left hand side sucked him across behind the Honda, but he had nothing in answer to HM Plant Honda, the new Fireblade for 2004. It is Michael Rutter who goes into second place, and we're at Coram Curve now, and there is plenty of time left in this race for Michael Rutter to get on the rear wheel of Reynolds. Let's take a look at the time between them. 1.4 seconds. Emmett was behind Reynolds a moment ago. Now it's Rutter in front of Emmett. What will the differential be as they cross the line? Across the line goes Reynolds. Now across the line goes Rutter. 1.579 is the difference between Reynolds and Rutter. We'll keep an eye on that and just see what it is next time round. Can Rutter close down Reynolds? Well, can he?
He's got a clear track and he's got the perfect target. He's got no opposition now from Sean Emmett. Sean Emmett's dropped a bit behind him. He's got the grip, he's got the bike. Let's see what he can do.
Well, for those of you that are following the privateers, James Ellison on the Gentin Racing Yamaha, the 23-year-old, who we haven't had a chance to mention too much. I mean, he's now riding in the Privateer Cup, and he is the best of the privateers in front of a couple of works bikes as well, so including Hayden and Craig Coxall. So James Ellison on the Privateer Cup machine, on the Superbike Cup machine, is in 12th place overall, but he is leading privateer at this moment in time. Still looking at Rutter. This is going to be a real study of class between these two. John Reynolds is a class act. He can lead this race and put in the time that he needs to win it. He will be getting the maximum out of that Rizzler Suzuki. But by the same token, so can Michael Rutter. He too is a real... well, he's an exponent, isn't he? He's a real expert at what he does on that motorcycle. The Honda has worked very well for him this year, but now he's got, well, a bit of an opportunity to try and close JR down, and JR is going to try every which way, including using most of the track and the pit porches there on the Sears. He's really going to try and keep that gap, because if Rutter gets within a few yards and there's a possibility of a slipstream, then I'm afraid JR's got a bigger job on his hands.
It will be close. We'll keep our eye on that gap. It's 1.5 seconds over the start finish on the last lap.
Back markers as well.
Pretty much the same here. Back markers could come into play.
In the bomb hole now. There is Rutter. He's closed him down a bit, I think, on this last lap. We'll wait until they get to the start and finish line when they trip our monitors. I'm sure Michael Rutter on the HM Plant Red Bull Honda has closed down JR on the Rizzler Suzuki. JR's going to catch a back marker right in the middle of the chicane, which he really could do without, and that's going to spoil his momentum onto the front straight here. It was Malcolm Ashley again, but Malcolm Ashley could do nothing about being in the middle of a chicane. You just have no choice there. You've got to be eventually on both sides of the track.
1.3 seconds, 2/10 of a second. Rutter's taken out of that last lap.
And we're on lap 18 of 24. This might be the only race that Michael Rutter is not happy to see it reduced by a lap or two. So being reduced down to 24 laps has even given Michael Rutter a harder job in hand. It should have been 25.
At the end of race 1, we heard Michael Rutter complaining about his drive, his corner speed at Sears, which is the corner coming off the back straight. And even visually there, you can see JR looks faster through that turn.
The Suzuki, for me, really, I just think Rizzler Suzuki, the Crescent boys, have done a great job. That motorcycle has responded to all challenges this year. They've got it hooked up. And Dunlop, you've got to mention Dunlop. Dunlop have done a great job. They really have come into this fray this year. They knew Michelin were coming on the full works Honda, and they really are making sure that Michelin aren't going to steal a position here, their position. So, JR comes to the line. Let's take a look. 1.3 it was. It's down to 1 second now. It's down to a second. Well, if Michael Rutter catches John Reynolds, you've still got to work out your rider of the day. Michael Rutter, John Reynolds. It's going to be one of those situations where you really have got a tough job on at the moment. I mean, what about the Supersport race? Mind you, McPherson would have won that, I suppose, if he stayed on. He'd have won the Rider of the Day and the R6 Cup. Still, we are thinking of the Think Rider of the Day award. Will it be Reynolds? Will it be Rutter? I feel Neil Mackenzie's mind may be tipped by the result of this race.
right. It's just who could put money on who's going to win this one. I mean, it's one thing getting the back of John Reynolds, but Michael Rutter's so smooth. If he can find a spot to get past, he'll obviously do it, but I don't know where I would pick.
Lap 19 of 24. We are on now. Blue flag being waved. Another back marker. We're going to catch them right at the top of this start and finish straight. GSXR Suzuki versus Fireblade 1000. Oh, nicely done. Back marker moves right out of the way and has no interference with the leading two in this second race today. We're at Sears. Let's take a look at Michael Rutter. Again, he runs a little bit wide all the time there, doesn't he? Just doesn't seem to be happy getting onto this back straight. I've got no idea why that may be, and I don't think Michael had either when we spoke to him earlier. Reynolds, Rutter, Emmett, the top three. Kagayama, Thomas and Richards are the next three that are up. Still Michael Rutter. 0.7 was the distance between Reynolds and Rutter at the end of the last lap. Just 0.7. Is it visibly closer? There is Paul Denning in the middle of your screen. There is Simon Buckmaster to the left of your screen, complete with...
That was Les Pearson.
Yeah, it was Les
Michael
Pearson.
Rutter's main
You
man.
can tell by the sideburns, of course. Les gets in shot. Rutter's closer. Rutter is much closer. This is going to be a grandstand finish. We have got 3 laps to go after this one. We're on lap 21 then, of the 24. Michael Rutter, slowly but surely, is honing in on John Reynolds. Neil Mackenzie says, well, it's one thing to catch him, it's another to pass JR. And I'm going to back him up on that one. Not going to argue with that for a change. Still it is Michael Rutter had the fastest lap, but that was on lap 10. At the moment, they are matching each other. 106.2 for both Reynolds and Rutter on the last lap. They are still the fastest men out on the racetrack, and you can see why. They're duelling it out, aren't they, really? This is a real technical race as much as anything.
It really is. JR will be seeing his pit board, and he'll be seeing something he doesn't want to see, that gap coming down, and he knows it's his main championship rival that's catching him.
Well, I can tell you at the intermediate, it was back up to 0.8 of a second now. Keeping an eye on all the splits here. We're very lucky to have the monitors from MST.
I think, yes, sure, it will go back up there because Michael Rutter, he does lose time at Sears coming onto the back straight.
But then he makes it all back up, coming round this swervery up towards the start and finish line. It was 0.8 because of Rutter and the Honda's lack of drive onto, for some reason, the Revit straight. But we'll take a look at it. What's it gone to? 0.8 it was.
JR set the
0.6. It's 0.6. Rutter has set the fastest lap on lap 21. It was JR for a split second, and then when Rutter crossed the line, it was Rutter. So in half a second, we had 2 fastest laps. Remarkable stuff. Just 0.6 of a second at the last split was Reynolds' lead over Rutter, and the time is running out for Michael Rutter to regain any advantage over John Reynolds. Reynolds, he is tough, there is no doubt about it. He's mentally tough, he knows that Rutter has been hunting him down, but do not expect a mistake from John Reynolds anywhere on this racetrack. It's just out of character. The only thing that may trip him up is a back marker, and they're coming right where we don't want them, coming round towards the Russell chicane. He might just catch him right, but again, he's got the drive up that hill. He's got as much, he's not going to catch him there. He might catch him at the first turn after the start finish, which is Rich's. No, I think he's going to pass him on the straight. I think we'll be all right, actually.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be no, they're not. They're going to get him at Rich's, which is not the best of all things. Reynolds and Rutter go over the line. It's down to half a second now. It was 0.6 last time round at the line. Half a second is the lead. Reynolds has over Rutter. Going to catch him at Sears. That's not a good place, but it's going to be Rutter who's going to have the problems. No, he's not. Across the back marker. Saw the blue flag. Who was that? Did he catch his number? I didn't see exactly who it was.
No, but he did a good job.
Oh yeah, I was about to congratulate him for being such a kind gentleman and moving over. And it was 26. Thank heavens for that. We can give him a mention. Chris Martin, then the 23-year-old on the Car Masters Racing Suzuki.
And the sole rider on Bridgestone slicks in this race.
Keeping his eye out for the front runners and moving over accordingly. We're on lap 23 or 24. We're coming round to start our last lap pretty soon. John Reynolds under pressure. Michael Rutter under pressure to pass him. Who's it going to be? We're through Coram Curve now for the penultimate time. Just one more time, they'll make that corner. John Reynolds really has hung on doggedly here. You can see Michael Rutter closing in, but it doesn't matter because after this part of the track, really the Suzuki launches itself up through turn 1, which is Rich's, and on towards turn 3. Looked to me like there was a definite Michael Rutter just didn't get onto the straight anywhere near like as quick as he needs to if he's going to get in touch with that Suzuki. This is Rutter's poorest part of the track.
Well, Reynolds didn't have a good lap on that last lap. He did a 1.6.3. Rutter still did a 1.6.199.
This is where we're going to find out who's going to be doing what, though. We are on the last lap. I remind you, if you didn't see that, up in the top left-hand corner through concentration on these two riders. Number 2, there is a Suzuki, is John Reynolds. John Reynolds is being hounded down by Michael Rutter. Rutter closing in at the S's. Rutter is placing himself perfectly for a pass at the Russell chicane. I don't think it will come before then. They go up towards the bomb hole now. The advantage is Reynolds. JR has the advantage. Michael Rutter in second place. I don't think it's going to be close enough. Coram Curve next. This is a frightening long right-hander. Over 100 miles an hour, accelerating up to 110 miles an hour on the blast down to the braking area. This is the last time they come to the Russell chicane. John Reynolds, unless he makes a mistake, has got it all covered. He will come onto the start and finish straight in bottom gear and blast the big GSXR Suzuki up the straight to the flag to take his first double of the year. John Reynolds gets 50 points today and extends his lead at the top of the championship, and it is John Reynolds who takes the win. Confirmation of it: Michael Rutter, Sean Emmett, Yukio Kagayama, Dean Thomas, Scott Smart, Glenn Richards and Steve Plater. You will excuse me for rushing these, but we are getting close to our off-air time. Ryoichi Kiyanari, Tommy Hill, Gary Mason, James Ellison, Craig Oxall, James Hayden, Kieran Clark and Dennis Hobbs round out the top 16. Let's take a look at the championship. 10 points lead now over John Reynolds, over Michael Rutter, I should say. Kagayama third with Sean Emmett. Ryoichi Kiyanari slips to 5th place. Scott Smart, well, blotted his copybook a bit, but it was a great ride from him. 68 points. Dean Thomas and Tommy Hill round out the top 8 of the championship.